Today's grand opening for the new grocery outlet here in Dublin is amazing, not only because it is bigger in square footage, but also it has such great product. They're focusing on fresh vegetables and fruits, and so making sure that they're healthy, but also being able to supply so many other different choices as well.
Having choice is wonderful. Another grocery store in Dublin is wonderful, particularly a bargain grocery store in Dublin. There are people in Dublin who love their Whole Foods. There are people in Dublin who don't shop at Whole Foods because they're more of a gourmet and an expensive shop. Having another choice in Dublin where the prices are a little bit more on the bargain end. We have people in Dublin at all ends of the economic spectrum, and being able to have additional items. There's stuff on the shelves here that we don't see in other grocery stores, and certainly the prices are fantastic. We're thrilled to pieces. As you can see, there's a lot of people here this morning for this grand opening, so people have been very excited about this store opening.
We decided to run a business in Dublin for the fact knowing that our roots are close to home, and we grew up here, making it just more of an enjoyable place to come back to and be able to serve the community.
Welcome to this edition of Mayor's Report Dublin. I'm your host, Dr. Marshall Kamina. Joining me today is Mayor Melissa Hernandez from the city of Dublin. Welcome, Mayor Hernandez.
Thank you, Marshall, for having me on once again.
Oh, boy, it's a pleasure. Now, you know what? We just saw and heard from you and from some others at the recent Dublin grand opening of the grocery outlets. How come you're so excited about this?
You know, it's exciting to always bring a new business in here in our city of Dublin.
Yeah, but you never stop.
No, we're doing so many great things, and we're bringing, we're always trying to attract different businesses. We're always trying to bring just businesses to our city of Dublin. After COVID, we didn't have too many businesses leave, but we want to make sure that we are able to fill those vacant spots, and sometimes they take a little bit longer than others. But Grocery Outlet is a new addition, and it was my pleasure to participate in the grand opening ceremony for the new Dublin Grocery Outlet on Amador Valley and San Ramon Valley Boulevard, right in the same shopping center as the old famous Casa Roscoe restaurant.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, and the reason why this is a special, I think, tribute to bring it to Dublin is because of the fact that the two owners, Zuki and Harjeni Bahati, they actually were raised in Dublin.
No kidding.
They went to elementary school, middle school, and Dublin High School there. So for many years, Dublin was their home, and they came and migrated with their family members and settled in Dublin over 40 years ago, and they quickly established deep roots in Dublin, and they were anxious to get back to their home sweet town, and they were able to be able to come back to a city that they grew up with, and they love the fact that the growth has happened and the establishment is doing so well, but also to make sure that they're accessible to the needs of so many people right now. They want to make sure that they work with Open Heart Kitchen and the Children's Emergency Food Bank. So having those nonprofits where they can already work with is just a wonderful piece to have. But with higher prices these days, who doesn't want a discount?
Exactly.
And it's really important with inflation being up and gas prices being up and everything you turn around is up. So to be able to save, whether it's a couple dollars here or there, it all adds up, and they're wonderful. They're a wonderful family-owned business, and they're here to stay for a long time. And so if you have not had the chance to go out there, please go out and visit them.
Well, you know what? I bet you do know this. It's not just a matter of having a discount on an outlet product you've never heard of before. You actually see brands you're familiar with. You know you're getting a good buy.
Absolutely, and I will tell you a little background story. So that day they had the Bimbo mascot, and Bimbo is one of the biggest bread producers in the United States and actually throughout the country. And so I remember Bimbo when I was growing up as a young child. It's a Mexican brand, but they own so many American names, and it's wonderful that they're still around there, and they have different cultures coming into the grocery outlets. And they really also wanted to base their groceries and this particular grocery outlet with more fruits and vegetables.
Yes, the produce is fabulous.
More fruits and vegetables is really important to them, and I always reminds me of my mom always telling me, make sure you eat your 5 servings a day.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself, because we're sure proud of you.
Thank you. No, we definitely are very happy to have them.
And you've already told us where it's located. Please don't forget where it is. Now, Mayor's Choice. Are you ready for this? What updates and what topics would you like to bring up at this point in the program?
Well, I will have to share my State of the City. It's a little bittersweet moment. As you know, this is my last State of the City here in Dublin. I've been on council for 8 years. We have a term limit of 8 years. I feel that I've been a great, productive mayor in our city, and I have a great working relationship with our staff, but also with all of our residents. You know, you make them a priority. And
are you telling me 8 years has gone by already?
Yes, it has. Very, very quickly, right? It just seems like I was putting out yard signs the other day, and now we're on our 8th year. My children have been through this with me the entire time. They've been great fans of mine and been right there with me. So
and they're still living at home with you?
My son is. My daughter is actually in the San Francisco area, but you know, they've been there with me, and I think this has been a really good family journey, I want to say. It's been about our family and, you know, getting out there, and it's great when you have a supportive family, because that makes your job a lot easier, and, you know, a job that I truly love. But I want to tell you a little bit about my State of the City. It will be on Wednesday, May 1st at Shannon Community Center. The theme of this year, you know, every year we have a different theme. It will be a legacy of progress. And as you know, Dublin has progressed in such a positive manner for so many years, especially the last 10 years. So I've been able to be there in all the hard decision-making meetings to be able to bring the best community that we can for our entire community. So some of the highlights will be the Downtown Dublin project and the recent opening of St. Patrick's Way. As you know, the downtown Dublin has always been a priority for me since before I got onto council. And then the housing affordability, the Dublin Boulevard Extension Program and Future Economic Development Zone, the Iron Horse Trail Bridge project and future Village Parkway improvements, which, you know, we are breaking ground on the Iron Horse Trail Bridge project. So watch out for that. And then
you can't miss it.
Well, the bridge you can't miss, but even the Iron Horse Trail, you know, right off of Amador Valley Boulevard and right by Stagecoach, you will be seeing a lot of stages, a lot of different phases and stages there throughout there. But definitely look out for that. It'll be some great amenities that we're adding there. And then the new and upcoming parks and facilities, such as the Dublin Arts Center and Wallace Ranch Community Park. And also, you know, as you know, I've been a huge champion for mental illness and making sure that we brought our behavioral health team that came in with our police officers. We opened Access Bridge together as the 3 cities and Access here in Pleasanton. And then we also just are, you know, I would have to say that I'm a very proud mayor to say that Dublin is in a great financial status. You know, we always have to be conscientious, though. We always have to put money away for a rainy day, and that's something that Dublin has always done. And so as a mayor, I'm very proud and the biggest defender that you will ever meet for that city of Dublin. And so again, it's a bittersweet, but I know that whoever takes my place will do a fine job. And, you know, Dublin will always be in my heart. I raised my children there, and I'm not going anywhere soon, so I will still be around and be very active, an active community member.
But you should know also in your heart that those keys to the city that you believe is the new mayor makes it a much better place even than when you started. Each mayor has built and built since the very first one. And that's not an easy job.
It's not. And so I will tell you that, you know, my dad has always been practice what you preach, and he always sat there and said, you know, you always do a better job, and you always do a better job than what you found them. And that's exactly what I think so many leaders in the past, and even myself right now, are doing. And we always want to make Dublin a better place, and it will be a better place to live, work, and play, and obviously raise your family. And so we thrive on that.
Well, you've walked on the backs of previous mayors, and now others will do it where you do the handoff. You should be very, very proud. Very proud.
Thank you, and of course I am. But if you want any more information, please go to the State of the City at dublin.ca.gov, and we look forward to seeing everyone on May 1st. And obviously you guys will be televising it as well.
Absolutely, and show it frequently.
Yes.
Hiring. I've been thinking about hiring. I bet you have too.
We're always thinking about hiring. That's always a priority.
Have you got any openings, and what benefits what a career work in Dublin? What attracts people to a job?
So, Dublin has always been a great job producer or city, right? And so we have many applicants that want to work for us. I think not only because we're probably one of the most well-run agencies in Alameda County, but I think really people truly enjoy to work with our other staff that have been there for many years. We have very knowledgeable employees. They know what they're doing, and that makes obviously all of our jobs a lot easier. But they put their dedication and they put their heart. And last year at my State of the City, I mentioned that our employees, come into our into our city of Dublin, into our offices, and they're ready to work, but also they want to make our city a better place than it was yesterday. And so I think when you have such great dedicated employees, it makes it for a happier place. It makes it for people wanting to come to work for Dublin. But the city of Dublin also offers wonderful pay and benefits, and there's a wide variety of opportunities available in the government sector. And working on behalf of residents and business owners and visitors that make the city of Dublin the best that it can be. And it brings staff a lot of pride and joy. And so the city is currently gearing up for Memorial Day, and those are weekend opening wave water parks and running the water park daily during the summer months. And so we are currently looking to hire, swim instructors and lifeguards. And so that's one thing as the seasons change, we hire towards, for the season, we hire temporary jobs. And a lot of the high school kids love to come and work and get that job experience.
Yes.
And, that's a great way to start getting, the next person in line that would love to work in government is start working as a part-time employee at our city offices. And, it's just getting your foot in the door and understanding how government really works.
That's right. Well, it's not very frequently that you ever find a person say, oh, I used to work in Dublin. They stay.
They do. We have some long-term employees that have been there with us for many years.
Bet. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of Mayor's Report in Dublin in just a moment. Welcome back to this edition of Mayor's Report Dublin. We're here talking with Mayor Melissa Hernandez from the very city of Dublin. Welcome back after the break. Can you talk about the Fallon 580 community meetings?
Yes, so we actually had 3 community meetings, and we do this very often. We always do outreach to our community so that, one, they are aware of what's going on. And as you know, we are up to par with social media and making sure that the information goes out there.
More than anybody else I know.
Yes, we definitely do. But we had 3 meetings in late March and in early April to be able to explain and provide information for our residents to learn more about the proposed Dublin 580 project. And the project proposes turning the subdivision of 192 acres into 11 parcels to accommodate future commercial, office, multifamily residential, open space, community park, and nature park uses. So the project would allow up to nearly 3,300,000 square feet of commercial and campus office use, and up to 238 multifamily homes. However, there is no proposed development at this time. So we want to make sure that our residents are aware. The 580, the majority of it is already in our general plan. And so, again, there's no proposed development at this time, but the residents can learn more details about any development activities always on our Dublin website at www.dublin.ca.gov. And then we also have a link to the development activity. So go on there and hit the development activity link, and that'll bring the page up on front of the page of our website, just under the banner photo. So anyone can submit comments about the project and any thoughts to our planning department, and it's planning@dublin.ca.gov. So again, we always like to keep our residents informed, and we're always out there, and you know, we're a pretty transparent city.
You have more citizen involvement than just about any community I know of. Congratulations on all that.
Well, I think also, you know, in the past, you know, we had Councilmember Kumagai, you know, we had some of the, I always like to say, some of the younger council members that really make a difference, and they keep up on, you know, hey, these are the things that we need to bring forward. And so it's great to be able to have such a, you know, diverse council. And so, you know, we all come together and you know, we lay some of these obvious needs for our community at our strategic planning, and so we're constantly talking to our staff and making sure that, you know, we get out there with regards to informing our residents.
One of the big issues several years ago really was, what's Dublin going to do with regard to health care? And by golly, have you guys performed?
So, you know, healthcare has always been a priority as well to me. You know, the mental illness falls into there, but also for many years, and I always like to say, my first part of my 27 years, as you know, I was in the dental industry, so part of healthcare, and so it's always been, you know, part of my life, and I think it's really important. But it is very beneficial for us as, you know, residents in Dublin, and to have a variety of healthcare options here in our city, and it's great. So many people have so many options, and options are good. So in addition to the obvious results of keeping our community members healthy, healthcare systems also have a very positive impact to our economy. So, you know, we're always thinking ahead, right? We've got to make sure we bring in some revenue. So they not only generate jobs, but they also provide tax revenue for our city. So the city can reinvest that into our infrastructure, our education, and our public service, you know, provided by our city, so which keeps, and it also includes activities and services to keep residents mentally and physically fit. And so it's important to be able to have all these great healthcare, but we also communicate with them a lot as well. You know, I just had lunch with the CEO of Stanford Healthcare, and we just try to catch up and both in the industry of his industry and in the government industry. And it's great to have partners like that want to know what's going on in your city.
Yeah, it is. They're good people there.
They're great people.
Are there any upcoming events that you'd like to share with your viewers?
Absolutely. You know, we're always having so many events in Dublin, and now as the weather's getting better, we will be starting off with our benefit concert that is always held outside. It showcases talented Dublin youths and seniors. So, you know, we don't want to leave our seniors out. And that will take place on Thursday, May 2nd at 5:30 p.m. in Emerald Glen Amphitheater. So go out to the Emerald Glen Park, and as you know, we have a beautiful amphitheater there with plenty of seating, and you can always bring a blanket and sit on the grass as well. Looking ahead, the City of Dublin will host our community garage sale on Saturday, September 28th at 8 a.m. until 1. You know, nothing but having a great garage sale on a weekend, right? And so in the parking lot at the Dublin Sports Ground. So if you have some items, make sure you contact our office so that we can give you a space to be able to bring in the community garage sale. For those wishing to sell their treasures, they must reserve a booth space because we want to make sure we have plenty of space, and register to book a space, whether you're residential or a non-resident.
Gotcha.
So make sure you go visit us on there. And only garage yard sale items are not to be sold. So no craft food retail from vendors are allowed at this time. You know, if you want to sell food, please make sure that you sign up for our farmers market where you're able to sell food there. And then sellers may not sell new items or items for a business. So, you know, we have some rules in place, and we got to make sure we follow the rules. And then items for sale must be appropriate for a family audience. Sellers must provide their own change and display materials, and sellers are responsible for working and watching their own space. So it's not our staff. Our staff is there to help, to, you know, give you your space, but You have to be there the entire time in order for you to sell your products there.
Well, that's very, very interesting. And one last thought I had, maybe just mention it for a moment. Are you still preparing for a July 4th celebration? That's going to be a little different this year.
So, you know, what we do in Dublin is we sell the fireworks, and a lot of that funding goes, actually all the funding goes to the nonprofit organizations. And so, you know, there's fire guidelines. Our fire chief goes out and he looks at every single one of the booths to make sure that they're up to code. A lot of the nonprofits, or all the nonprofits, run them. So the Wells Middle School Band, Dublin Rotary, Dublin High School Boosters, and all those soccer, Dublin Little League. So they utilize that funding to be able to help, you know, the young kids that maybe can't afford to play soccer or baseball, because no one's left behind in Dublin. Where there's a will, there's a way, and we'll definitely find a way to make sure that all students are included to play any sports, you know, play in a band like Wells Middle School Band. And so I think it's really important for these nonprofits to make sure that all the kids are included. So that's what we do in Dublin. And then we do have our Dublin Sports Ground parking lot that every booth is mandated to give out the information of where you can light off the safe and sane fireworks. We do not sell any illegal fireworks at all whatsoever, so that our entire community is safe. And then our fire is close by. Our firefighters are close by.
Yes.
And so we make sure that we run a pretty good darn program.
They seem very committed to me.
Yes.
They've got good pancakes too.
They have great pancakes.
Well, the complexion of 4th of July for this year is going to be a little different throughout Alameda County, and I'm glad to see that your city, as well as some of the others, are preparing for the transition of the movement. Livermore had to cancel his, for example.
Yes, and you know, and that's one of those situations where we've always been on top of things, you know. It's celebrating America and making sure that we still have, you know, those wonderful events and coming forward. But definitely, you know, we put as much information as we can out there. We really try to provide, you know, all of our residents with information about making sure that we're safe.
I'm sure you know David Halbert, and he just yesterday had a new grandchild, so I'll bet you he'll bring that grandchild, if possible, to your 4th of July.
Yes. And I want to say congratulations to Supervisor Halbert. You know, we were on council for many years, but it's always exciting to have a new baby, right?
Isn't that true?
It's just one of those, you know, they're so beautiful, and they just, you know, make you smile when you hold them.
Thank you, Mayor, for being here and updating us. I'm Dr. Marshall Kamina. Join us for the next episode of Mayor's Report Dublin, right here on Tri-Valley TV. Thank you for watching.